Hey guys, what's up? CaptainTurbo here, and welcome to a special extra type video I have here for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If you watched the last 4 parts, you'll see that my footage was not the best. I performed like complete crap. You know, didn't do very well, and I'll go more into that another time. But essentially, when we got round to the race for the Super LP Heroes, I did a much better job. We still had a few rules with save states and whatnot, and overall I just performed much better, and I still had the footage, and I asked for permission with the guys from the group, and they said go ahead. So I'm essentially going to be doing sort of a post-commentary let's play here. The thing is, obviously all this footage is the same footage from the race. But I'm just going to be going over it because I did a much better job, as I said. As you can see here, we're kind of stuck on the same screen here. I'm not in control at the moment, obviously. This is because obviously we'll have been doing the intros and stuff for the race and stuff, and unfortunately you missed the title screen and whatnot, but it's nothing special. You've seen that already in part 1. And by the way, this is going to be a complete walkthrough for this one episode, so the hour and 15-20 minutes this should be. Yeah, this is all the LP, just done a little bit better this time. And now I'm really just waiting for the actual gameplay to start. Obviously I can hear the music. Really good music actually for this game. But yeah, just kind of waiting. Still waiting. And yeah, I'm recording this at night, obviously. Well, oh, and here we go. Careful here, obviously. You can skip like the first couple of sewer levels here. Obviously you can still attack in the overworld, which is really good. Most enemies like this obviously can go down with one hit. All the turtles, obviously, I think I mentioned in one of the earlier parts, have attributes and stuff. Leo's probably the weakest overall, but his attack has some decent range to it, I guess you could say, so he's not the worst to use. And obviously I'm using the best one here, Donatello, and absolutely destroying Bebop. And there's Rocksteady as well. We can't actually attack him yet. And you'll be seeing me taking the quickest route for the game. Obviously it was for the race, so... interesting fact here, that pizza there will keep respawning, so if you're really down on Turtle's health and stuff, just get the pizza and head back out and then come back in, and you can constantly keep redoing that, so... It's a nice little trick. And what's sad about this game is most of the mini-bosses are like this, in that they're just regular mooks that you'll face throughout the entire game. I think they just have a slightly long health bar or something. But yeah, Donatello's the best turtle. He has the longest range, his attack does the most damage. He's probably one of the slowest to attack though. That's the only downside to him. Raph has pretty good power, but his range absolutely sucks. Michelangelo's sort of decent range, but his attack does little, I think roughly the same amount as Leonardo's. I think he's just quicker at getting it off, that's all. No, honestly, he's my least favourite to use. We're actually coming to the end of stage 1 already. And yes, I'm going to abuse the trick here. Like I said, guys, it's not something I regularly do this. It's just I'm just gonna turn the music down slightly. This isn't something I'd really usually do. It's just that my footage was so bad, and I actually felt dirty. The fact that I'd used not just save states everywhere, but also the fact that I'd also used the non-damage code as well, which really made me feel dirty, and this is the reason I'm doing this. In case you're wondering, we had one rule. I said everyone could use a save state at the beginning of each new area, at the beginning of the dam level, and also there was one more, I'm trying to remember where. Oh yeah, once you've just beaten the Technodrome. We were also allowed to use the Konami code as well, but ironically enough, I don't think it worked for a single person, so we all each only had 2 continues as well, which actually came back to bite some of us in the ass, I should say. But I'm not actually going to spoil who won. If you want to go and watch, if you want to go watch the race, you know, I'll actually put a link in the description below. You know, if you're at all interested, it was a fun race. It was actually not too far. I'm not going to say who won. I did finish the game. That's all I'm going to tell you. I did finish the game, but I'm not going to tell you if I got first, second, third, fourth, or fifth. And of course, because I've already talked about a lot of stuff, I'll at times probably go quiet. But one thing that I don't know if I stress again, I did the actual LP of this. When I did the LP of this a few weeks ago, in fact it was probably about a month, maybe a month and a half ago. No, in fact it'll have been 2 months ago. When I did the actual LP 2 months ago, it was actually the first time in about 10 years I'd played the game. And to be honest, I thought I'd be able to just pick it back up, you know, and just play it straight through. But no, I definitely needed the practice. And this LP, if you put this LP, the previous parts up against this actual footage, you'll see I do a much better job after several practice sessions. This jump here, just be really careful. You only have to tap the jump button there. And obviously we're coming to this stage. It gave a lot of people a lot of problems, I'm guessing anyway, growing up. I actually take quite a bit more damage in this place than I did in the I think it would have been part 1 or 2. Probably part 1. Again, a race, so I was kind of rushing and I kind of screwed myself over at times. See, I've also got other things going on right now, so I may occasionally just look away from the TV, from the screen for a few minutes. Oh, and I make mention of this in actually in a future Let's Play, because I am ahead of myself, you guys. You know this already. This will go up straight after part 4, I believe. So, yeah. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I'll put this up straight after part 4 is finished. Because, like I said, the part 4 was, well, the finale was recorded, like I said, 2 months ago. It was uploaded about a month ago as well, so, you know, and obviously I've had time to do other things since then. You know, I've completed another LP, I've completed like 3 other LPs. I'm in the middle of another one and stuff, and yeah, as you can see here, I'm taking a crap ton of damage. I'm gonna switch out here to the RAF, I believe. Yeah, I do. I take a lot more damage than I usually do, I should say. But yeah, one thing I'm happy to say is that I finally figured out the issue with Bandicam, and as you can see, I take a lot of damage there. I sorted out the problem with Bandicam, so any NES games I record now, or any Nintendo games actually, because it seems to be a Nintendo problem, any games I record from Nintendo emulators now won't have any screen cut off. At least it shouldn't. You know, so I think some of the future LPs I have, a couple parts might, that I've recently sorted this, and by this, recently, I mean I sorted this out in the last week. I figured out what the problem is. But yeah, you know, I think I've talked about my history of this game, but I'll just say it again anyway. You know, I had a NES back in the day. I had 3 games for it. I had the Nintendo, I got the original NES actually after the PlayStation came out. So it would have been around 97, maybe 98. Let's call it 97. I got the NES around 97. Like I said, at this point already the PlayStation was out. I was very deep into 16-bit consoles anyway, with the Mega Drive and the Super Nintendo. So I got the NES. 2 of the games I got was this and the double pack of Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt. Duck Hunt obviously doesn't work, and to be honest, Mario didn't work great either. So I was kind of stuck with only this to play. Eventually I did get Chippendale's Rescue Rangers, but actually ended up selling the console not long after I got it, so I didn't get to play that one much. So this was pretty much my entire NES experience, was this one game. You know, and a lot of people love the NES, but you know, I'm a 16-bit baby. I grew up on 16-bit, and to be honest, I wouldn't want it any other way. As you can see there, I showed off a little trick. If you're in the turtle van and you press select to exit, you can make the steamrollers or whatever the hell they are disappear. It works 9 times out of 10, so it's actually a very helpful little trick to use, especially if you're in a race or you're speedrunning this or something. And it's also good if you don't want to waste your missiles that are coming up. I believe that pizza respawns. I think it does anyway, don't quote me on that. Can't remember what it, yeah, I think I may have just looked away from the screen there for a second. And if you remember, I actually did this exact same trick in the Let's Play. It's not easy to pull off, but in my honest opinion, it's worth it because there's another gap towards the right that I think you actually see in a few minutes. And it's harder to jump there, because if you jump there and you miss, you'll go back down to the previous floor. So this actually just ends up being quicker, you know, despite me constantly failing here. And I don't know, I think this actually only works in emulators, but it's been a long time since I played NES TMNT legitimately, so I can't tell you if that's true or not. Obviously that part you just walk over, but it's the to the far right way to do it, and I get hit there. This is actually one of my best runs though, I have to say. That pizza there does not respawn, by the way. That full one. But that gap there, as you can see just to the left, it's very hard to walk over that, to jump over that actually. Alright, so that pizza doesn't, in the top right corner, doesn't respawn, I think, unless you actually exit the building. And one missile pack is actually all you need. I said I'm using the disappearing trick there, so I don't have to waste missiles. I think you actually only need 7 in total, in complete total. I believe one of those houses will actually have one of the turtles tied up if you've lost them at any point, so although I'm not certain, I actually don't think it is. I think it's closer to the center of the city that you can get a you can rescue the turtle. Sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied, and I'm not even playing. Look at the Foot Clan trying to appear threatening there. I don't know why I bothered trying to shoot that. It's a waste of time. Also guys, I won't be editing this, so when the video obviously puts on part 2 and part 3, I'll still be talking, or I'll have the audio recording at least, and I took a bit of damage there. In fact, I actually think I took damage, which was odd, because I did get hit, because I did actually get hit. Yeah, it didn't work there, unfortunately, and I struggled to get back in the van. So, been a busy couple days for me. As I said, I actually finished off an LP. I did another LP straight after that. I ended up watching the Survivor Series as well. Sting finally makes his WWE debut. First time since Royal Rumble, actually, I've bothered watching. This section here is actually pretty easy. It's the next room where a lot of people have a lot of problems again. If you get past the dam level, then this is usually where a lot of people end up stopping because they get stuck. Yeah, I try and avoid being hit there. I remember as one day when I wasn't really in the mood to play, I ended up watching speedrun. Someone did this entire game in 25 minutes with taking minimal damage. I think they got hit maybe 3 times. It's freaking ridiculous. Yeah, I decided to change out to Leonardo. He's actually the best one to use in this area, if you ask me, because of his range and his speed. He just makes it really well, and I actually take my time here. I know things are coming up, so I am very careful with how I jump. I think I do fall in, but it's only the once. I think, anyway. The race was roughly a month ago. Yeah, it was once I fell in. Thankfully, it's not like an instant kill or anything like that. I got some throwing stars. I don't think I end up using them much. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's only the ones I end up screwing up. No, it might. No, I know what happens. I'm not going to spoil it though. Yeah, this section actually isn't that hard as long as you're very patient and you take your time. You know, anticipate every jump, and if you can, try and just remember where the enemies are going to come from. If you walk straight to the edge, you'll activate the some of the enemies that come before you, so you know, just be careful. As you can see, I get the pizza there for Donnie. There's also a full pizza at the end, so you know, it's actually a good place to refill if you need it. Because I think it actually respawns. Let this guy walk off the edge. Alright, one more enemy. And there you go. I was checking there because I wasn't sure if one of the others needed it, but they don't. And that's that section done with. It's actually, as I said, I find it very easy, especially if you know how to get rid of everyone. Of course, as I said, not everyone's been playing in this game as long as I have, and not everyone's got the patience for it. You know, back in the day, I only really played it because it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And speaking of which, if he's watching this, yes, Sinister, the 2003 cartoon, is still better than the 1987 one. Yes, I do mean that to everyone else that's watching. I honestly think the 2003 cartoon is far superior. I love that cartoon. The 87 one, it's okay. Enjoyable, but I don't think it's aged very well. And that's a bit of a cheap shot right there. I don't like that when, you know, you can't avoid getting hit. We're actually getting close to the boss here. Yeah, I keep going there because I know that thing's going to drop that bullet on my head, so I had to be really fast about that. And here I'm deciding what to do. Because you don't have just one boss, you have two. And I'm going to spoil this right here and now. I kind of fall off the edge. I don't know if I fall... Yeah, I'm pretty sure I fall off the edge. I might die, I can't remember which one it was, but I do one or the other, and yeah, I died, sorry. Which unfortunately sends you all the way back here. Thankfully, I don't think it doesn't happen twice, I believe so. Yeah, here's the thing, we were doing, we had this rule that you couldn't use the load state at the beginning of an area unless you killed yourself first. So you had to basically have all your turtles killed first. So I'm doing this. Unfortunately, it'll send me back to the beginning of Area 3. This was the only time I ended up backtracking quite a lot. which, you know, sends me back here. But as I said, I know the game well enough that it doesn't take me long to get the missiles again. You know, about 5 minutes, I think, overall. As I said, I'm not doing any editing or anything like that. This is purely every part, every little bit of the race footage that we had for the actual race we had. You know, and I'm only doing this because this was, I know I had the game over there, but it was much better in terms of quality of gameplay from me than the actual LP was, so. And you will see that come in the later levels, because you know, you saw how badly I did in the LP when it came to the interior of the Technodrome, so. And I'm going to tell you this right now, I didn't have a full fresh team of turtles when I went in. And I had no more continues, so I got through the entire Technodrome basically on pure skill. I couldn't save state anywhere other than the beginning, which was where obviously I was using the save state, and I got up there a lot quicker this time. But, you know, you'll see that a little bit later. You know, I don't know why I feel so guilty about doing this. Dine does this all the time, where he uploads his race footage. And I also I'm gonna address this right here now. I may as well, because like I said, I'm gonna use this as sort of just a talky part. Mass Effect, I know I'm not getting hardly any views of. You know, I have a limited fan base anyway. I guess none of them is interested in the game. I'm still gonna do that. I'm not gonna cancel the LP. There's nothing wrong with it in terms of quality, gameplay wise and visual wise. Here's the thing. Setting up for the 360 recording sessions is one of the biggest pains in the asses I've ever known. Especially with doing it as commentary as well. So I'm actually going to be putting that one on hiatus for now. Until I can get them. Because here's the thing. I have to drag this huge ass TV into my room. Because it's the only one that I can use the HogPod with. And if you're wondering why I don't, you know, why don't you just take the Xbox 360 and the computer and the laptop into the other room? Here's the thing, the 360's wires and cables and all that are behind a shelving thing now, so it would probably be even harder to do that. Because I've got to retake all the wires and everything and untangle them through holes in the shelvings. So here's what I'm going to do. After part 6, Mass Effect Part 6 should have already been made public by this point. If you don't see any more videos of Mass Effect after that, at this point, you haven't seen Part 7 or Part 8, then that's the reason why. However, I will be doing a different 360 game, and the reason I'm going to do a different 360 game is the fact that I can cut my job down in half because it's going to be post-commentary, because the game has a tendency to freeze on me a lot, and it would be hell to do as live commentary. Because I have no idea when the game's going to freeze, and you know, there's been patches, but it still freezes a hell of a lot. And it'd just be a lot easier to cut down. I'm not saying cut down. It'd just be a lot easier for me to do it that way. I'm not going to do anything else post-commentary, at least not anything planned. Just that one, and just for that one reason is the fact that I can't do anything about the glitches and the freezing of the game all the time. But I'll probably go more into that when I actually get around to that game. I'm checking my turtles here, and none of them are really injured, so still go for the pizza though. Not going to waste it. Obviously a lot of people don't like the game. I'm actually surprised one of the reasons people don't like the game is the enemy selection. You know, a lot of people whine and bitch about the fact that there's no enemies from the cartoon here. Personally, I don't really care. I mean, this game's got a lot more problems than that. The unfair difficulty for one. The glitches and stuff for two. I think the fake difficulty is easily the worst aspect of the game, though. When I say unfair difficulty, I mean that as in enemy placement more than anything, where it puts you in a predicament where you really are it's almost impossible to avoid getting hit. Like you saw last time I came up this ladder, and because it was one of those balloon things, it was dropping a missile on me. I couldn't avoid it because I was still climbing the ladder, so that there is unfair difficulty. And we get some shurikens there. I think that's what they're called, shurikens. And we're back at the boss now. As you can see, I'm very careful about what I'm doing here. You know, my advice is to just constantly switch out if you need to, and just cause as much damage as you can. Obviously, I've still got 2 full turtles. Michelangelo and Donatello can still take a bit of damage, so... Now I'm switching out to Leo, as you can see. I actually can't see the enemy bar because of the because this was still in the time period where I didn't know how to get Bandicam to not. Here's the thing: recording with Bandicam, when I just finished recording, you know, the files were fine, but as soon as I converted them to either MP4 or a WMV, which is what I always use, it cuts off the top and the bottom. And as I said, I didn't know how to fix that. I've only just recently found out, so at the moment I can't see things like the enemy health meter and stuff. I can barely see the turtle's health meter. You know, we're at stage 4 now, and we're actually close to the end of the first part of the race. Or the first episode of the race, I should say. Obviously, I'm not going to be doing multiple parts of this. I'll just be doing it in one large part. Which is probably going to be a bitch to upload in terms of file size. And a full piece of there. My advice with stage 4, well, I'll get to that more when we get a bit further in. Because I'm taking a lot of damage here. And I see that I'm low on health, so I switch out again. You have to have at least 3 of those things up there that are supposed to represent ropes. And you can kind of see it, and that was definitely one of the most unfair aspects. Because you can see I get stuck and I am screwed basically, and I decide, you know what, I'm just going to game over. It's not fair, you know, all 3 of them, there's practically no invincibility frames, unfortunately. At least not enough to escape those 3 guys. At least it's at the beginning of the episode, at the beginning of the stage. You know, you can never get hit when you want to. And I think that's it. Yep. And unfortunately that took my last continue. At the time I thought I still had another 2, so you can kind of guess just how screwed I was at that point. You know, the Konami code's supposed to give you 4 continues instead of 2, but for some reason, as I said, it just didn't work for anyone during the race. And I believe we all had to try it at one point, so... not try it, I believe we all tried it and we all needed it at one point, so... You know, I'm guessing it's not entirely correct or something, or you need to do it in a specific place, because we all did it at the title screen. Or it could have been something to do with the fact that most of us were using emulators, I believe. Well, if I remember correctly, Gold Glee Gamer 1 was using the homebrew for, or something like that, for whatever it is that you use on the Nintendo Wii. I believe everyone else was using emulators. But still, I suppose technically the Wii thing is an emulator in itself, so... Maybe that's got something to do with it? I don't know. Be careful with these ropes here. If you stop, you will fall off, I believe. But with this, you probably can tell why. Ow, fuck. I get. Fuck. Ow. Oh, that hurt. fuck. Sorry guys, I just kind of... I felt like I was breaking my fingers. Ow. Okay. Yeah, I kind of bent my feet, almost my entire hand all the way backwards then by accident. Oh, that really hurt. Anyway guys, as you can probably tell, I'm doing this because I don't really have, I don't do post-commentary very often. You know, I feel it's difficult to put true emotion into it when it's post-commentary. You know, I'm gonna screw up a few times, but I can't feel any true rage or anything because, you know, it's already happened. You know, this was a while ago, and this was actually the end of part 1 of the race. Which is why I'm just sort of stood there. You know, I was waiting. You know, Goal was doing the outro and everything for the race. You know, saying goodbye and all that stuff. So I'm essentially just waiting. And we're actually on part 2 now. But again, he's got to do his intro for the second part. So it's going to take about a few seconds, I think, before I actually start moving again. Sorry guys, I'm just massaging my hand. There we go. These things here are actually pretty weak. They'll go down with one hit, so I'd actually recommend getting rid of them. It'll just make life a little bit easier if you get rid of them, that's all. Another thing I don't think I brought up is the fact that I believe all the turtles actually double in power when they're more than halfway down on health. I know it's definitely true for Michelangelo and Raphael. I think it's also true for Leonardo and Donatello. Maybe not Don, he doesn't really need the power boost, but definitely true for the for Raph and Mikey. I can't remember why he went back down there. I think I went back down. I think I actually just accidentally dropped down. You see me getting rid of these. I made a mistake there. As you can see, I'm kind of getting bombarded by enemies again. I wanted to make sure I got out of that while I could. My advice, as you can see there are numbers on the walls. To make sure you're going in the right way, keep going into the one that's got the higher number. You know, because there'll be multiple at times. Always go for the one with the higher number. At least almost always go for the one with the higher number, I believe. I'm just messing around with Michelangelo's nunchucks there. Sorry guys, I'm still massaging my hand. It really freaking hurts. Not even doing anything. I'm just sat here watching this, and I still hurt myself. I still hurt myself. Unfortunately, I have to take hits there. It's actually really hard sometimes to avoid enemies, especially when they take multiple hits. Thankfully, those spikes are not instant kill. But they will take, I believe, at least 1 unit of health each time, and you only have 8, so... And I've actually just got an email I've been waiting for, so I'll probably just be replying to this, guys. Alright guys, I apologise for that. I was just responding to an email. I'm actually kind of in the middle of getting a custom PC built because, you know, I I haven't been able to do anything real online gaming or anything like that, you know, like MMOs and stuff like that, because my computer just isn't powerful enough in terms of graphics to run anything beyond very basic stuff. As I said before, I can't even run Minecraft. At least not very well. You know, and I want to get into things like WoW and Aeon and yeah, you know, just stuff like that. You know, I'd really like to try out some online MMOs. The only one I've ever really got working correctly, I did have WoW for a little while back years ago, but unfortunately I think it's needed to a graphical update that my PC just doesn't run. But the only one other than that I really tried out was Lord of the Rings Online and Perfect World, and this was a good in fact I'd probably say 4 or 5 years ago when my computer was able to run them. Obviously they've gone through updates and stuff now, so I can't really run them as well. In fact, I can't run them at all. And here's the thing, I actually have the entire Sims free collection that I can't play because my computer is not powerful enough. As you can see, I actually go for this pizza, so that guy down there is not really an issue. Alright, this is the wrong one. That's 14. And 15. I can never remember which one to go down rightly on my first try with that. I think I can take that in one hit, and I do. Because, as I said, it must work for Leo as well, because he wouldn't have been able to do that in one hit if he'd been at more than half health. But the reason I believe I'm using Leo there was because I knew he was at half, and I just want to get rid of everything in one hit. See here, I keep hitting that thing and I keep getting different items come out for some reason. Yeah, I go back in, unfortunately. One good thing is that I get through this, at least stage 4, without taking another game over, so, you know, you're not going to see me stumble too much. Unfortunately, you want that pizza, you're going to have to take, well, almost certainly going to have to take damage. Not necessarily, not definitely, but certainly. Almost certainly, I should say. So what else has been going on? Sonic Boom came out a few weeks ago. Well, about 2 weeks ago. And has been received very poorly. I have to admit, the game looked pretty bad from day one, but... yeah. It's not like I could really play the game anyway. I don't have a Wii U or a 3DS at the moment. And I've heard the 3DS version isn't terrible. Here I am actually, we aren't paused or anything, I'm just sort of deciding what to do here. And obviously I think I showed off the trick where you can share boomerangs in the Let's Play, so I'm not going to discuss that again. In case you're wondering when I'm recording this, or I should say when I'm doing commentary, it's the 25th of November. A month until Christmas. My advice with this section, well, as soon as you get to the next floor, I should say, is don't go for any of the power-ups or goodies or anything like that. Just go, just keep heading down. Don't focus on anything else. See, I have a bit of trouble getting over that. I actually do very well here. I don't take a single bit of damage. Actually, those spikes are instant death, so try not to mess around. And that's almost stage 4 done with, but we've got the boss, which is a piece of cake. I got the giant mouse here. Make sure you have Dawn just stand underneath its mouth, and when it opens, just start going to town on him. He will drop smaller ones, but obviously, as I said, because you're underneath it, you'll be able to take them out in one hit, especially with Donatello. So Donnie kind of is overpowered, but in a way it's kind of needed, especially in this game because of the unfair difficulty. And that's the boss taken care of. Another cutscene here. The turtles are going in their blimp, which was a pretty fucking useless vehicle in my honest opinion. And I'm sure it made for a popular toy back in the day. Stage 5. I'm not gonna lie guys, I spend quite a bit of time here purely because I do some grinding and then I game over, I believe, and stuff like that. And it just doesn't really go that well. I do believe... did I? Yeah, at this point I decided to go for a game over. Because I want to have the full refresh of all my turtles, and in about a minute I'm gonna discover that I've already used both my continues. I've basically... the Konami code hasn't worked and I'm out of continues, I should say. Which actually really worried me because I didn't think I'd be able to complete the game without them. Thankfully I did, but as I said, I'm not actually going to tell you if I won or not. Yeah, I just sort of let the foot soldiers completely decimate me. Surprising how late it is actually. It's 25 to 9 at night. I don't usually record. Obviously, I record Mondays from about 10 AM until 3 PM is my usual time period for recording. I don't always record that long, it's just that's the time I have. And as you saw there, I had no continues left, so I decided to hell with it, I'm going to try. One thing you will need, one thing you really do need here is to do some grinding for these stub weapons that I'm about to get. They make the Technodrome so much easier to deal with. They also make getting through the rest of this area and the Technodrome a lot easier as well. This is the only place you can do it as well because it's the only place that actually respawns the items in question. Take care of these guys first. They'll usually go down in one hit like everything else if you're below half. Those things aren't that bad to deal with. Obviously this one you can just outmaneuver. There's one freaking fart. That bird there is going to be the bane of you. It's not always there either, so you may get unlucky. That one bird is going to be the bane of your existence, but you need the sub weapon. I believe they're just known as the scrolls, but I'm not entirely certain. You saw me do this during the LP as well, so I don't really need to explain it any further. Yeah, I think at this point I just decided to hell with it and game over it again. So that's, as I said, this is where I spent most of my time during the race. I ended up discovering something thanks to one of the other racers that I didn't actually know about, but I'll go into that more when it's shown. But as I said, I was the one that chose the game, so I picked the ruling, and the fact is we only were allowed those 7 save states. We can't save state during the middle of a stage, it has to be at the beginning. Obviously, as I said, other than the dam. And the reason I said right after the Technodrome fight was because as soon as you start the interior of the Technodrome, you're going to be attacked by enemies that you'll be caught blind by unless you're prepared for it. So I didn't want that to happen, so I made the ruling that it had to be right after you beat the Technodrome and before the cutscene ends. You know, this is just so people had a chance to get used to that first screen in the Technodrome. As you can see the bird there, you can keep going back down, but just make sure you go straight back up. Sometimes something else will spawn up there instead of the bird, which is a lot easier to deal with. I don't think you've got the time to get up onto there and attack it as well. Yeah, as you can see here, we've got different enemies now, and I still end up taking damage. But those things are a lot easier to deal with. Other things going on at the moment, I guess, is I'm currently in the middle of playing Final Fantasy VI. I'm at the part where I've gotten, you know, the world ends and you've gotten most, well, technically, Kefka wins the first round, and, you know, I've got most of my crew back together now on the second airship. So I think I'm about 65% into the game, maybe 70%. Yeah, as you can see here, I'm just game over again. You know, so, and you know, I'm really enjoying Final Fantasy VI, and I'll be doing a captain's log on it shortly after I finish it. You know, it'll just be like a quick review type thing. It probably won't be as long as, say, the others, because, you know, I'm just doing that. But I seem to have done a retrospective on a lot of Final Fantasy games. You know, well, 7, 8, and 9. You know, I may as well do 6. I came to it for the first time a few months ago, so I think I mentioned before that I actually plan to do. I was actually planning to do 5 first, because I actually own the Game Boy Advance version of both 5 and 6. But the version of Final Fantasy V cartridge doesn't have any saving features. It seems the internal battery's dead. You know, I bought it pre-owned and all that, so it's not really surprising. I can't remember what it is I decided to do in the end here. As you can see now, we've got both sets of the bird and those things up. It's that one bird. If it wasn't for that, this would be a much more manageable thing to do. I believe I just ended up going for another game over as well. Yeah. Ow. Fucking hell, why do I keep hurting myself? Speaking of turtles, I ended up watching that the crossover movie Turtles Forever yesterday. You know, the one with the 1987 and the 2003 crossover, and they also ended up crossing over with the comic book Turtles as well at Turtle Prime. You know, I had forgotten how good that film actually was. And yes, this is the type of shit I do in my spare time. I actually need to get some more stuff recording next Monday. I'm not behind or anything. I'm still like nearly 3 months in advance, but I'm usually more than that. And this was where I actually found out that this place had some pizza, and that it actually had another turtle. So I really want to thank Mark, level 27 Mark-a-Man there, or Mark, as we usually just call him. 'Cause, you know, I didn't know about this. It did take me a while to find him, to find the turtle, because I didn't actually know where in this place he was. But you know, during the race I actually mentioned that I just couldn't do this with 3 turtles, and he mentioned that there was this one here, because he actually put in quite a bit of practice for the race as well. And he did tell me that the pizza actually respawns if you leave the place and come back, so that was really helpful actually. And knowing all that, I might actually come back and do this one day legitimately. Maybe. You see, I'm giving Mikey a little bit of health back there. I know I can't really get that without taking some damage, so I decided against it. Obviously the pizza doesn't respawn until I leave the building, unfortunately. But I do find out it does respawn, so I don't think I go for another game over. So you don't have to keep watching this part over and over again, thankfully. But this is where the other turtle is if you lose one. And again, thank you to Mark. I did not know this was there until the race itself. And you have no idea how overjoyed I was at that moment. And I have my full team of 4 back. And now I'm just going to do a bit of grinding, I believe, to get all of them back to full health, or at least almost full health. No, sorry, I don't go back and get them at full health. At least not yet. I believe at this point, I decided to go back and get all the scroll power-ups first. I said, it's been nearly a month since we recorded this, so... In fact, I can actually check online when we recorded. We actually have a Wikipedia page for the race group, so... Actually, me and Gold run, so... Well, he made it, but we both sort of updated it and stuff. Right, when did we actually record this? I'm gonna get on the right page. Race results. Here it is. We recorded. Oh, October 25th. So it was exactly a month ago we recorded this. That's why I love the wiki page. Do like this little bit of music that plays when you're outside, though. You can't hear it now, though. I don't think there's that long left, guy. Well, not really. About 20-25 minutes, I believe, in total. You know, we've got through the majority of the video for the most part. Well, the biggest half. So what else have I been doing? I've recently been buying a lot of 360 games that I haven't actually played yet. They're sort of on the backlog. I bought Final Fantasy 13 and 13-2. I may end up going for another game over here, I can't remember. No, I don't. I bought Final Fantasy 13 and 13-2. I bought XCOM Enemy Unknown. I've actually played some of that and I'm really liking it. I just keep, you know, not getting really in the mood to boot up the 360 though. Bought WWE 13, which I've played a little bit of as well. Just taking a look. Oh, and I also bought Star Ocean: The Last Hope. I was on a little bit of a JRPG craze at the moment. You know, I've not heard a lot of great things about it, but you know, I'll give it a chance, you know, see what it's like. It didn't cost me very much money anyway. To be honest, all those, what was it, 5 games combined didn't even come to £20, so... You know, I am a bit of a bargain hunter. And you get some more of the scrolls. I can't remember if I ended up going for any more, but... I would actually say you can probably beat the game comfortably enough with 40 of them, so... I said, I know Raph can take care of everything in one hit now, so at least in there. Yeah, I must think 40 is enough at this point. And I'm looking at the time here, I don't think I'd get another game over in this area. Knowing how long there is on the third part, yeah, that's got to be the last time. I can't remember if I actually do any grinding from the pizza. Yeah, I must, because I'm going back in here. As I say, it can only be a couple minutes I go for this stuff because, you know, I'm nearly there now. Yeah, sorry guys, you know, I'm not really saying a whole lot, but... You know, at the end of the day, I'm just grinding for pizza. Speaking of which, I had some yesterday. I really pigged out on the stuff. You know, which... What have I had to eat today? I had a pot noodle earlier, which is really nice. No, I like pot noodle. And... I had a couple brownies. And unfortunately this is another one of those unfair areas because it's really difficult not to take any damage whatsoever here. I think I actually do end up getting through this without taking a single unit of health away. I mean this screen, I don't mean any further than this one screen right here with these 3 enemies. You know, take care of the porcupine first, which I'm failing at big time. And damn it, I need to go to the toilet. Yeah, I managed to take care of that. Yeah, I got rid of those 2, and I ended up taking damage from one of these things, I believe. No, I don't. Just checking Twitter, guys. As I said, I've not really got a whole lot to do right now. I actually need to do a complete system reboot of my computer. I'm kind of putting that off. I've got things to do. I've got some videos to edit, and I've also got to download and practice Hook for the Super Nintendo for the next race. Let's see, I take a lot of damage there. I think the projectiles will disappear after you hit them once. But as I said, Donatello has, I think, the slowest of all the turtles in terms of using his weapon. So it wasn't really smart of me to waste Donnie's health so much. I decided to just kind of outrun that there. I'm sorry if I sound so monotone tonight, guys. As I said, this is post-commentary. It's pretty... Well, it's not late for my standards, but, you know, I don't like recording in the evening and stuff. Because, you know, there's other people in the house. And thankfully I get it right on my first time where the Technodrome is going to be. And this is why the scrolls are important, because they can take out some of this stuff in 3 and 4 hits instead of like 10. My advice here, just stay where you are until you have no choice but to move. Especially if you have the scrolls. You see, I know that thing's going to land on me, so I move out the way and switch to another turtle. Take care of the turrets. Those are the only things I would say are mandatory for you to get rid of, because they're going to be such a pain for you otherwise. I think this takes 4, maybe 5 hits with the scrolls. Well, that's 3. Oh, so it takes 4. I still have quite a few scrolls left. I can't actually see the number, obviously, because the whole screen cut off. You'll be able to see it because I'm going to. I think I've still got the raw Bandicam footage. So if I still have that, I'll make sure the screen cut off crap is dealt with. And we're actually at the interior of the Technodrome. As you can see there, you're going to be bombarded by enemies straight away, which is why the save state rule applied to before you enter this place. These guys are actually not that difficult. Just duck underneath them and you should be fine. No, I think, like I said, I know where there's a turtle I can get here, which is why I didn't bother going for game over. And Dante only had one unit of health, so it really wasn't worth the effort. Not gonna lie, guys, I think I ended up taking 2, maybe 3 trips through here. So yeah, unfortunately it's not going to be my first trip through that I do this. switch out to Leo here so I can basically just take care of that turret that's below me. Yeah, I end up rapidly pressing the attack button so often in this game. I said because of multiple practices, I knew where a lot of the enemies were. I did occasionally forget, but well, that's just human error for you. Unfortunately, all of them need pizza. This place actually has 2 places you can go, and I accidentally realized that I'm vulnerable again. This place actually has 2 places you can go, up or down in this room. I always choose to go down because it's the route I know, and it's where the captured turtle is, so this is usually my go-to path. I went on the top path once, didn't really think it was that much better. I didn't really think it was any better, so this was the one I go for. And I've only ever made that once, on my first try actually, and I've not been able to do it again since. This room you can avoid taking damage, unfortunately. So as soon as you get down there, just jump straight across. And going down this ladder will take you to the captured turtle, which is right over to the far right of the screen. And we're actually coming to the end of part 2 of the race. And yeah, this is, I basically just stay on this screen because, as I said, this was where the episode ended. We're on part 3 now, technically. This is much shorter for me. You know, I've got about, let me check. There's roughly 10 minutes left. You know, I think it is actually only 2 times for the Technodrome I had to have. As I said, at this point, Gold's still probably just doing his intro. Just me, or is that thing a different color now? As I said, guys, sometimes I'll go quiet because I'm just doing other things in the background, and I'm kind of determined at this point not to get hit by this this spaceman guy. I actually do manage to avoid getting hit by him entirely, which is a very rare thing to do. I believe we're actually not too far away from the big corridor at the end, obviously, that's always caused me issues. This isn't it, we've still got another thing to do first. Yeah, I just decided to take care of that guy like that, so, you know, just, you know, go for broke, even if it costs me some health. You know, here I am kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, because that guy can take some serious, can cause me some serious damage. I've got the turret there as well, it's causing me issues. What if I manage to get through it once I know the trick? This thing here obviously is sort of like invincibility, and it will be a one-hit KO to practically any enemy on the screen. They're very rare to find in the game, that's the only one I actually know of. And we're actually at the corridor now. Unfortunately, I do fail the first time. I get on the second attempt though, so don't worry. In the second attempt, I actually do a really good job right until the end. You see, usually if you duck, those things will go right above you. Which none of them are really doing right now, unfortunately. And I realize none of my turtles really have much in terms of health left. And yeah, I just decided to game over. But that'll be the last time I do that, guys. And again, guys, I don't really have a whole lot to say. We're, you've seen the Technodrome. We're, as I said, we're not far from the end now. I just wanted to, well, I'll talk now because the credit sequence, as you know, from the LP is very short. This was, as I said, just because my actual LP footage was absolutely atrocious. Having to use so many save states, and I ended up using, as I said, a no damage code at times, simply to save my sanity. Which shows you that you really should practice before doing things like Let's Plays and stuff. Nowadays it's not so much of a issue because lives tend to not matter so much. You can play games like Grand Theft Auto and what else can I think of? I actually can't think of another game, just recent games. Lives are non-factor whatsoever for the most part. That it's just so unfair, I guess you could say, because the older games like this, if you game over, you lose so many lives, you game over and stuff, you'll go back right to the beginning of the game. It's very unforgiving. It's just very retro, and you really need to practice the older games when you're doing it for Let's Play, and I didn't do that. I thought I could just jump straight back in, even though I'd not played the game in 10 years, and make a decent LP, and unfortunately that didn't go as planned, and you all saw how badly I did, especially towards the end, and I fell straight off the edge there. But as I said, this, in my honest opinion, was a much better run, especially since we only used 7 allowed save states, so I had a full set of rules already in place, and even with those rules in place, I did a better job, I believe. I honestly think, in my opinion, overall, than last time. I know I've been a bit dead at times in terms of commentary and stuff. As I said, this was post-com stuff, this was race footage, and all that stuff. I managed to avoid getting hit with that, which was surprising, and Donnie's at full health, which is really good. As you can see, I'm still using the scrolls. They're a very good sub-weapon to have, easily the best in the game. As I think I mentioned before. I think I have a couple left when I actually get to the corridor. Not many, just like 4 or 5, I don't know. I won't really know actually until I, unless I still have the raw Bandicam footage still. Because this was converted files, but as I said, because it cuts off the top and the bottom slightly, I can't see anything that's in there. As I said, go watch the LP footage. If I do find the raw Bandicam footage, I can redo it, but just watch the LP footage and you can see the issue I have. Yeah, as I said, I still had a couple of scrolls left, which I ended up using, I believe, for some enemies coming up. These guys I don't bother killing, it's easy to just duck underneath them and go. I actually go quite a long time here, I believe, without taking any damage. This is how you're supposed to do it, but they won't always go above you, they'll just glide straight into you. Like that guy there did not, yeah, I know that guy wasn't going to stop, so I just ended up going straight for him. At this point, you just need to keep waiting for that guy to go back, go forward a few steps, and lava rinse repeat. Which can make this corridor a bit of a chore to get through, and a bit of a long chore at that, but you can see I started taking damage there, but that's, I think, the last time I take damage. At all. We're literally about 3-4 minutes away from ending this, so... Got one mini boss left, and then we've got a very pathetic boss. Main boss, I should say. Let this guy come towards you, duck, and if you've still got... This is if you got down, you just do that, and there you go. Easy as that. I decided to bring out Raph because he's still got some sub-weapons left. Wait for the shredder to materialize here. and just let these go. For some reason it wasn't knocking him back like it's supposed to, and then it wasn't even registering as a hit. So get him off like that, and then just that was a poor choice of word. Just stand on the hedge here and just keep attacking with one of your turtles. Doesn't really matter which one at this point. And there you go, that's the end of the shredder and the end of the game. A much better run. And that, guys, is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't really have anything else to say, but I got like a minute and a half, well, just under a minute and a half left of footage. I apologize, as I said, for failing to do this. You know, my previous footage was that bad that I just couldn't not do something about it. You know, and once we did the race, I knew this footage was far superior, so I wanted to use this footage to do like an extra video. As I said, this will all be one part. You know, this will be like an hour and 15 minute sort of let's play video. You'll actually see the intro because at this point I hadn't stopped recording. So, but yeah, guys, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I said in the LP, if you're curious, I would recommend you give it a try if you can learn how to play the game. You know, and learn how to take advantage of certain aspects like respawning health and the sub weapons and stuff. And for God's sakes, get the jumping down. If you don't get that jumping down to a T, you're gonna have a really bad time, guys. But I think that's it, guys. For what it's worth, I hope you enjoyed this much better than the previous part of the LP. Shouldn't be doing this ever again, hopefully. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Take care and have a good night.